the hand in front of the camera. I'm getting cracking on some more stuff on this, and I figured better go live. I'll be putting a Slurm billboard, like an old advertisement, on the back, on the same side as the blue sun. And I'm going to be doing that with a, let's see here, let's get you guys in a better angle. Using a old billboard that was over in the middle of Gimmick that had come off the wall a while ago, and I'd done the Jason Jensen method of sanding it down and then a little bit of tearing and stuff, and I think it'll work out well. So, and I'm going to use Mod Podge to attach this. What's up, Bjorn? So, and this is good because it will be. That's why. But I had a long day at work today. Took care of some stuff after work. Ran an errand earlier in the day. Got a couple more errands to run. What's up, Abby? We're working on the storage container, shipping containers again today into a building. I'm currently mod podging the back of a billboard that's supposed to look like it was like torn off and damaged and has been like out in the weather and the elements. People have tried to tear it off. I've actually watched people try and tear down one of those covers off of a billboard before. I don't know. I live in the middle of, well, not in the middle of nowhere, but I live in a small town like a few miles outside of nowhere, in between a city. And so while a lot of the city, which is like 20 minutes away, they have those digital billboards, we still have a lot of the analog. People come and put the billboards up, and before they switch to those like canvas stretch over billboards, we had regular paste up billboards like they used to. They'd come with the roller and apply them and all that stuff, and I watched people climb up and try and tear one down once, and it was a sight to see. Just go, we're gonna start right here. Let me just tap this up with my fingers. Let me grab my tool, my world famous Famine Studios patent pending LLC fucking whatever else ABC DVD. Where'd it go? Alright, looks like we're gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way, I think, because, you know, some goddamn type of critter probably snuck in and stole it. And by critter, I mean my cat, Quinlan. But that brush there. All the slitters. What's up, Adrian? And I'm gonna push that in there with my thumbnail. Push that in my thumbnail. Once I start to get these in there, because it's nice and wet from the Mod Podge on the back, and it doesn't bleed, because this is, again, say it with me, kids, laser printed, not inkjet. Get it laser jet printed at a library or Staples, otherwise you're gonna have a very bad time. And I'd hate to watch somebody's hard work get ruined because the wrong type of printer. So I'm stopping right here in the middle. There we go. I'm going to use this, the back of a paintbrush handle. This is not my ideal handle, but my ideal piece, but we'll use it. Oh no. See? Whatever. Looks like we're sticking to the fingernail. But that's okay. A hole right there is fine. We love a good hole. That means two things, and I refuse to elaborate what those are. You just want to make sure that the air bubbles, as they get pressed out, just push them out. And oh, Abby, maybe you'll be happy to hear this. I lucked out and I was able to, for the about 1 hour window that they were available, order the Hammond Spino. So if they don't cancel my order, which they did to some people yesterday, which is really fucked up, I will have her on Thursday. So small wins. Slurms McKenzie, you have been sticky down, my friend. What's up, Red? That isn't as saturated as it should be, but we just fixed the problem. There we go. So now we've got that billboard on there. Or advertisement, I shouldn't call it a billboard. Let's see. Yeah, hit that like button. I appreciate that. Helps the channel. Trying to catch up on the last one. Don't yell at me, I'm sensitive. Sorry, Abby. You gotta smack that like button, though, like it owes you money. That's how we do it around here. So that's out of the way. Now, last you guys saw, I'll bring you up to speed, is I was working on painting this 3D printed air conditioner unit, and I attached that. I have also drilled out a hole over here, which you'll see in a minute, and I've also installed the door and the droid socket there. And that's really all I've done since we last streamed, which was last night. Today I also did a little bit of sanding on this to prep it so I could paint it and then attach it here, because I want all the tech that's on this thing and like going to these buildings to kind of be scabbed onto the outside, like, you know, warts and technology, like wall warts. Remember when everything now comes with a charger? You know, everything, unless you buy an Apple product, apparently it just comes with a cable and a good luck message. But most things came with a wall wart, and it was those big, like clunky black chargers and then the tiny ass thin cable. So my thought is these are all like attached to walls and stuff as these buildings get built, and there's pathways and you know, ladders and ramps and shit. Also, things would just be like tacked onto the outside so that the wire could be run right in or through a window or on the roof. And that's what I'm gonna work now, is I'm gonna get this painted up. It's just I think this was one of the Glyos pieces from Knights of the Slice, and honestly it was a backpack, but it kind of looks like almost like a little Ghostbuster backpack, and it's got these lights here, or what I think would be lights. So I'm going to paint one of these, you know, blue and one of them red, or white and red, or whatever. They could both be red, I don't freaking know. Paint the cable steel colored, put some switches on there, and just have the wire. It's already got a convenient little wire hole here coming out and getting fed in somewhere else. And for the wiring, we're going to do a few things, but let me just reach in here into my closet of infinite items. then we've got a few different types of wires. What's up, Mudhorn? We've got garden wire in brown that's a little thinner, and we've got some thicker garden wire in green, and they take paint pretty well, acrylic paints. So that's what we're working on today. Exactly, and if you go to a city, like I tell people all the time, if you go to the city, just look around at the sides of buildings, and there's pipes and cable boxes and ductwork and stuff all over. This tape is not strong enough for what I need it to do because it's not meant to be strong. Not like me. I'm super strong. But if you look around, you'll see all sorts of technology on the sides of buildings. It's just a little prettier in some places than others, but it is there. That's one of those things that I like about, if you ever watch Bob's Burgers, look at the sides of the buildings and stuff, it does look like that down by Jersey Shore, like there are wires and hoses and stuff all over the exteriors of buildings, and they like animate that into the show and draw that in, and I think that's really cool. And I'm just doing black, matte black from Army Painter on this. I want to get a couple of coats of black on here as a primer. I thought about taking it side and priming it, but I'm going to give you a guess as to what the weather's like today here in upstate New York. Don't even look out that window. Don't even look out that window. I'll just let you guess. This one's free. Exactly, it's blazing sun. No, it's rain. It's just, yeah, Bjorn gets it. It's just rain. It's rain, and it's misting, and it's miserable, and it's damp, and paint doesn't like to dry or adhere well in those conditions. If I had the, how do I want to word this? At some point, that's much better, I will be able to utilize some space in my garage, and I have a box out there that I was using for cosplay, and the box has a hole in it on the bottom, and you put a hairdryer inside of it, and you turn the hairdryer on for low for about 10 minutes, which is safe. It's not going to, hairdryers do not get, unless they're like from fucking 1980, they don't get hot enough to cause paper to catch fire. And I would put things in there and turn the hairdryer on for about 15 minutes and then turn it off and let it cool, and it bakes the paint and cures it quickly. So I could paint when it was humid or when it was cold, but unable to utilize that right now, and also I didn't feel like trying to use the hairdryer for more than like a couple of minutes in the house. The cats don't really like it. I don't like it. It makes a hairdryer sound. People don't like that noise, apparently. Oh, speaking of the cats, there's Snowflake demanding her entrance in. Ma'am, I'm sorry, we're closed. It's a closed set today. She doesn't believe that. She knows that I'm a sucker. She'll just keep meowing until I let her in. 'Cause I'm a big pushover softy for my cats. Hey, if you already hit the like button, and you're like, damn, Famine, great job, do me a favor and hit the share button, too. You can copy the link. You don't have to send it to anybody. You can if you want to. Send it to people you don't like. I don't give a shit. But if you do that, that tells the algorithm, like, hey, man, I enjoy this dude's content. I might send this to somebody, and they're like, oh, we should put this in like, the algorithm to, like, show up on other people's pages because this person is trying to share it with people. And that helps because it brings new folks in. We had somebody who popped in yesterday that was newer to the channel, and that was really cool to see. So again, just putting black on there. I'll do another coat here in a second when it cures or when it starts to dry. And thankfully about these Army Painter acrylic paints is they do dry pretty quick, even in this humidity. It's just going to take a little longer. I could blast this with the hairdryer, but It's all right. We got time to let that sit for a minute. And the really good thing is why I like these wires is they're rubber coated. That's one, but it's like almost a foam rubber, so it does take paint pretty well. And then number two, like it holds whatever shape. Same as this one. I picked up a butt ton of these at Joann when it was going out of business. I think I bought like 6 of them. But again, you want some droopy wires that are like precariously dangling and want it to look funny on the side of a building or draped over a thing. There you go. Hell, you could do that, and you could put like a spike or something up there to make it look like it's holding it on there for your life. Boom. And it's really just, you just press it into the shape you want it, and then if you need to change it for anything or make adjustments, there you go. So we're going to be using some of this in this build to make cords coming out of the air conditioner unit that runs into the building, because we want it to look like it's, you know, drooping down and kind of just ramshackle and slapdash. That's a good word, slapdash together. So you can get this at the garden center. You can get this at like hobby stores. Some of them have it in the floral section. There's also some thinner wires. I have some thread. I found that to scale well with 118, embroidery thread is the way I want to go. So, but that's what I'm thinking for today, is doing this thing. Something quick, something enjoyable and easy. I've been thinking about what I want to do for this interior wall, and I don't want to pepper these poor residents with advertisements and stuff. I've got a lot of different sheets of scrapbooking paper, and the scrapbooking paper has patterns and things like that. Some of it looks like faux wood, some of it's just like looks like wallpaper, and I'm thinking maybe we'll do like some peeling, maybe just peeling a little bit in the corners up here of quote wallpaper, kind of like a dollhouse, essentially just bigger dollhouses, or dollhouses for boys or whatever, because we're fucking like I'm going on one of my famous famine rants here. Toys are for everyone. Gender, sex, identity, whatever. It's just a fucking toy. I was out yard sailing. I was looking for something, and some girl goes, "Oh, you don't want that? That's all girl toys." And I was kind of like, "Oh, you know, you'd be surprised." And she's like, "Yeah, but those are for little girls." And I'm like, "I guess if you want your kid to only play with those if they're a little girl." And she was like, "Huh?" And I just got annoyed and walked away. Like, it's okay. I was looking through some Barbie stuff and some LOL dollhouse stuff because those things scale well with what I'm doing. It's just a fucking toy. Just let your kid play with whatever. Let your child do. If your little boy wants to build dollhouses and play with ponies, fuck yeah, you've taught him empathy and home. You know, maybe he's learning some housemaking skills and he's going to be a really good partner and support his boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. Like, taking care of the house, that's great. You should encourage that type of shit. Don't be like, "Oh, that's girl stuff," or "Oh, that's boy stuff." Get the fuck out of here. It's a toy. Anyway, that's my rant. But yeah, so maybe wallpaper. Also, for everyone who I've encountered that's bitch moaned and complained about having to take the wallpaper or the sticky fucking giant stickers that are inside of these things, spray them with primer. You can't even tell it's there anymore. Rattle can, filler primer, or just regular gray primer. I blasted it. It's gone. You can't even see it. Same down here. Well, I mean, some of it got in there, but like the areas that you can't see it. So, highly recommend, just blast it with some spray paint, some primer. But I am going to weather this too. I was just really excited. I get that way sometimes. I'm like, fuck, I've got to put this fucking thing on here. It's going to look so cool. I got to see what it looks like. And I put it on there. And I was like, oh yeah, you got to weather that. Stupid. So I'll be weathering that at some point too. It's not going to stay perfectly clean and beautiful and pure. All right, let's get a little more black paint on this thing, on this little guy. I think I'm also going to develop some type of what I'll call a feeder station to have on homes, like outside, for, you know, families that have dinosaurs or critters or whatever, so that they can be fed outdoors. Might not necessarily have pens for them initially, but I want a spot where somebody like can walk up and tie up their critter, or, you know, hook them up to a safe thing. Cooking and laundry, my wife's what I call lovingly, I'm her house bitch. There you go. Yeah, I've never... One of my first toys I can remember receiving as a present was a Raggedy Ann and Andy doll. And then another toy that I can remember receiving a little bit after that was a Ken doll. And it was like... air pilot or air steward Ken, because I was going to fly on an airplane for the first time. And that was one of the first toys I got, and it's never... I don't know. It fucking bugs me and weirds me out when people like try and limit their kids on what they are allowed to do and what they're allowed to play with, because it's that gender's thing or this gender's thing or that, you know... That's a little girl's toy. That's a little boy's toy. We don't want you to play with that. You don't want to play with that. It was like Ross on Friends when he was trying to get the little boy to play with the cool toys and not the Barbie. It's stupid. On top of the feeder station as well, something I'm going to do is I want to put a little table in here by the door with like a house plant on it, like a clearly fake house plant, kind of like you would have in an apartment building. If you've ever lived in some of them, for whatever reason, sometimes the landlord will come and spruce the place up by putting out a table with like fucking a fake plant on it, and then Christmas they come and swap the fake plant and they put it in the drawer and they put a little Christmas tree. Just bullshit like that, little bits of realism. And maybe there's, you know, maybe they own this thing and they do that to like gussy it up, but they're, you know, destitute or low income, or they just don't give two shits about that. But I thought that would be something to add a little more detail. All right, let's get some, I'll take some of this wire here. We want to do our first wire. We'll do the big thick one, I think. Yeah. So let's grab a pair of clippers. All right. So we've got our wire here. While the paint will adhere to this, no problem, I am going to just use this sanding stick to take a little bit of the shine off of the coating before I put the paint on it, because I'm weird. Or I could just do the green wire. I don't know. I kind of want to have like a black wire. Okay, we're going to need super glue and accelerator. That's not super glue, famine. Alright, so just gonna take this again, just black paint. Just go like that. And it doesn't even take that much, because again, these army painter paints, these model paints, they have such a high pigmentation. And that's personally what I want out of most things, is just a lot more pigment. My waffles give me more yellow 3 dye, right? That's only made of what, potassium nitrate? Why is Famine foaming at the mouth while he's eating his Eggos? Ah, he got the fucking cyanide Eggos. Do you guys not get cyanide Eggos? Now, Abby, are you going to be picking up some of the sets from Marauders? The dinosaur hunter sets? I was asking Abby if she's going to be picking some of those up. I'm sure I am not sure what yet, but I'm looking forward to that. Absolutely. Me too. Here we go. All right. Is that plugged up again? This goddamn super glue doing its job. How much is that dog in the window? There we go. Okay. All right, I pumped that hole full of glue. Now I'm going to take some accelerator and just put a big old globule of that on the end of that wire. And I think I should have opened that hole up a little bit more before I did this, but it is what it is. Because then you can feed the wire inside and all that other fun stuff, but this will dry just the way I want it to. It'll adhere, and then we'll be able to bend the wire, put the final touches of paint on it, and plug the end in to the other side. Yeah, I should open that up. Well, I don't know. Kind of need to have hands on this. Let me put you guys at a better angle. Possibly. That'll work. Cool. We're going to repeat that here. Load up the area where the wire is going to be touching the wall with glue. Maybe. Oh, there we go. It's time for a new tube of glue. New tube of glue, yay! Yay, it's glue time! Or another old tube of glue that I didn't finish using. Just gotta open that up there. There we go. Yes. Cool. Like I said, good amount of glue. And then we take some accelerator all over the tip. And then insert that there. I'll just cheat a little bit and put a little more glue around it. Oop, oop, oop. Okay, that's okay. There's super glue everywhere. Oh God, we got a catastrophe. It's the end of the world as we know it. Okay. Okay. Let that sit for a hot minute. Now we've got a dangling wire precariously poised leading into the apartment, which is what we want. There's a hole drilled inside. I don't know if you can see it, but right there. I guess since this is I'll just put a little bit of glucif there, and then I'll go like this with the accelerator. Burn my skin directly to the product. That's good. That only hurt a lot a bit. And then we'll just take care of this. I didn't wait long enough for this to dry, but it will stay on there. I'm just very impatient, as you guys have seen. I have the waiting skills of probably like a 6 to 10-year-old, right in there. When it comes to like stuff like this, and I say I build things so I can paint them, or I put models together so I can paint them. Like, that's not a joke. I love, like, sure, I enjoy building things, but man, do I just love painting and weathering things and trying to make them seem like they are real items in the real world, or real to whatever world they come from. So now we've got a cool, droopy, precariously poised wire, just dangling, like Lieutenant Dangle, just goofing, new boot goofing, new wire goofing. Let me get the special guest. Heavy 206 weight this year. Okay, get the special cat guest. Come on, Snowflake, you bum. Get in, come on. Hello. Really? After all that? Okay. I do believe I just got played by a tiny, 13-pound white cat. She's like, oh, okay, Dad, you didn't want to let me in then? Well, no, I'm not coming in. Meh. Until she winds up back at the door meowing. to spite me. Excuse me. The pirates. Okay. I swear to goodness, she's like right outside the door. And she's just antagonizing me. She's like, Faja, can I come in? Psych. Maybe I could make a tiny shipping container and do like a doghouse for this little raptor baby. There she is. Princess of Castle Famine. The most beautiful Mau Mau. Hello. Come here. Yes, you're a good girl. Say hello. Hello. Say hi, Dad. What you working on? Can I get up here and bat shit around your table? No, you may not. Yeah. You can look. Can't touch, though. Yeah. You good girl. You purring like crazy. I love you. You were washing your hands in the water bowl again, weren't you? Your hands are soaked. Oh, you see yourself on the screen? Say hi, everybody. Say, my name is Snowflake, and I am just the best damn cat ever. Hi. Yeah, you see yourself, huh? Hello. Hi, gorgeous. It's Sweeps Week, so this is how I'm boosting my ratings, is bringing in a cute cat. We'll play. You imagine if YouTube had Sweeps Weeks, because then Mr. Beast would be like, I'm gonna fucking send 18 people to the moon and cure all their ailments and give them $100,000 each every day for as long as they can survive on the moon, and people would tune in. Cheap pop, exactly. I'm bringing in the cat for cheap pop. Still can't get her to too sweet me, though. She doesn't have thumbs, so she can't make the... I'm looking at a polydactyl cat to replace her. No, not you. Not you, another cat. Another cat. Cat can too sweet because they got thumbs. I'm just saying. Considering. Not you though. Yeah, you're too. Oh, you're so lovely and sweet. I could never replace you. Oh my goodness, when you finally get old enough and you have to pass over the Rainbow Bridge, I will be like Ron Burgundy inside of the fucking phone booth, screaming, crying. Alright, no more sad cat talk. Hi. So I know I'm gonna put this thing up there. It's gonna probably go right there. And then I can have the wire, I think in this case we'll have the wire go up to the roof and in instead of hanging down. I think that'll be a little interesting, create some visual interest, as it were. I don't know, you guys tell me. I work for you guys. We're going to go with shining silver plate metal for the first pass of dry brushing. I am going to blast this with a hairdryer for just a second, so I'm going to mute you. I'm going to mute you. She's like, oh no, hairdryer. Post-apocalyptic vampire figurines. I don't know. What do you want them to look like? Do you want them to be like post-apocalyptic Mad Max, or do you want them to look somewhat Victorian and just really old and ragged? Buffy the Vampire Slayer style vampires? Do you want 30 Days of Night, Blade Trinity? Like, work with me here. Work with me here. Okay. I need to know what you're about, sweetie, okay? I just need to know what you're about. Custom make them. I know there's... See, that's the goddamnedest thing, is I know there's werewolves because I have a couple of them. But as far as vampire figurines go, I have one head. Hello. Hello, snowflake. Watch out. Rolly chair is scary, I know. It's like 1 second you're sitting, and the next second the thing's moving. I know. I do have a vampire head action series called Van Helsing. I know of a Van Helsing. So, Dom from Toy Domination sent me a package that was loaded up with some really cool stuff. And one of the really cool stuffs was a head. And it was a vampire head. And it looks like the bottom jaw is kind of missing. He's got long hair. And then recently I saw that very same person in something, and I think it was from a comic, and I'm not sure what it was, but I was like, damn, this guy would make a really cool vampire. And it should be right in here somewhere. So if you'll humor me, here it is. Let's see. How good can we get this camera to look at this? But it's got vampire fangs, and it's got long hair. It's just missing a bottom jaw, which leads me to believe it's probably more of a zombie than anything. But you could probably ask Dom what the story is with this guy, because he was the one that got him, and he might be able to tell you. I intended to, like, pop his goddamn chompers loose and bust up his grill a little bit more so that I could have, like, another nightmarish ghoul like that. That's a... think brain. Vitruvian Hacks advent calendar from a couple years ago. They sold them for super cheap recently, so I scooped one up and you get 2 figures in there. And that was one of the heads. And I love me some zombie ghouls. And I think this is supposed to be Casey Jones, maybe? Doesn't matter. But yeah, there are options out there. You could get characters bearing their teeth. I saw someone did custom. I don't know that they print them or offer them for sale, because I didn't capitalize on that. When I saw it, I didn't like ask. I was just like, oh, fucking neat, like, and then moved on with my life. But I saw somebody who did David Boreanaz and James Marsters as their vampire looks from Buffy and Angel. So there's people out there that do those things. I think you just have to look into customizers who make those head sculpts, or contact somebody and be like, hey, do you think you could make this for me? Dry brushing. Bjorn's gonna get off, everybody. Gross. And I'm just dry brushing with some silver to make the details pop on this thing. There we go. And of course I put my hand right in front of it Like, what the hell is wrong with me? Best I could do for you. And now I blocked the light. Incredible. You'd think I'd be set and know how to do this by now? Like, you think I'd be... Oh, that Famine, he fucking streams all the time. He's got to be an old pro. Absolutely not. I don't know what I'm doing. I just work here. I barely get paid. Like, I don't know. It's starting to pick up the details, like I said. That's all I wanted to do. Just a little bit of picking up some details, make it look more mechanical. And I don't know what this thing does. Maybe this thing is like a charge station for the hover bike or whatever that's going to live on there. I've decided I know which speeder bike I'm going to park up there. I mean, I didn't decide that I know which one's going to go up there. I made the decision earlier. That sentence sounded a lot more correct. Okay. And I want to make sure I get the sides too, because you're going to be able to see some of it from the side. So just giving it a little bit more character and feel and detail. Because like I said, I could really, realistically, if heaven forbid tomorrow I clocked into work and they were like, hey, we're letting you go, probably the first thing I would do after I ate some breakfast and contemplated like what I needed to do and make some phone calls, I'd probably hop on and just start streaming and keep doing these detail things and see where that takes me, because I love doing this little detail work. I like chatting with you guys. I like doing this because it feels it's motivating. Number one, it's nice to have people chatting with you while you're working, and you guys are inspiring and you're always giving me ideas. So that's just probably what I would jump to do. So let's get want this thing to stand out, so I want it to be blue, but like really chipped up blue. Do I want to be a loser and use my paint pen? Yes, I do. So I'm going to go ahead and use my paint pen and start putting splotches of blue on here and little speckles of blue. And just have it more towards the middle of the stuff. And the reason I've started using paint pens for a lot of things is twofold. Is one, I want to show people that like you don't need to have paint brushes if you feel like you're uncomfortable with those. But, you know, starting to look like that thing was painted blue. A paint pen is a lot less scary to people for some reason than having a paintbrush with paint on it. They feel, you know, familiar. You grew up in school. Even kids today, I'm fucking almost 40 and I hate saying sentences like that. But like kids at school today, even they still use pencil and pen to write when they start learning, and so it's familiar. It's almost like inherent. And for me, I get why that would be more friendly, user friendly, I guess, for people. But they are convenient sometimes, and they come in different shades than some of the paints that I have. So just adding this to my repertoire also shows people that, hey, I could do this world building thing, or I could do this action figure customizer, or I could just whatever art project that they want to work on. Maybe I don't need to get paintbrushes and all those pens. I can just buy a pack of pretty decent paint markers and get started. And I know people that paint like really gorgeous canvas paintings with paint markers. And the flip side is I know graffiti artists that do incredible artwork with paint markers, and that's it. They just take their markers and they go out and they do their thing, and you know, that's it. That's their whole process, is they do paint markers and go out and graph up whatever they're doing, put their message out there. And I do need to go to Eileen's, or excuse me, Arlene's. No, Eileen's. I was right the first time. Arlene's? Son of a bitch. and pick up some more paint markers, because these Poxa ones that I have are starting to run out. I do like the Malto paint markers. I've just found that a couple of the darker ones tend to run out faster than the lighter colors, so I have to be wary about that when I buy those markers. But again, it's just adding color, adding pops of color to things, and I'm staying away from the edges because I want it to be like chipped up, like it's been out in the weather. And maybe this generator or whatever the fuck it is that I'm slapping on at the side of this building, maybe it was passed down to somebody. Maybe it's like second or third hand, and it's just part of, you know, it's just something that this person has as part of their kit for their car, space vehicle, speeder bike to charge up. We don't know. We don't have to know. And that's one of my favorite things of like making stuff look like it's worn up and jagged and stuff, is just painting, but don't paint the edges. Like leave the silver showing or leave the black showing, and it looks weathered, especially at this scale. And I think it does a really good job at conveying like, hey, this thing's been through some stuff. It's seen some shit. Like, it just sends that message, I think. And I mean, if I'm wrong, tell me in the comments. All right, just a little bit over here, and I think we're good. Okay. So it's almost like Django. No, I didn't say your name. I said if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. So maybe you heard that and you're like, ah, that Family Guy's wrong. Well, thank you, sir. That's half the reason I do them, again, because I like having the company, and it's motivating, and it's great to like get feedback and shoot the shit. And as I said, I like the idea of teaching what skills I've learned and little tricks and stuff, because, well, I can. God damn it. You're wrong about something. See? Bjorn knows. Old Famine doesn't know everything. Hey man, there's plenty of room on the internet for everyone. Except for that one guy. You know what he did. She was my wife, Steve. Alright, so we got that. So let's put 2. We'll do green for the buttons. Okay, so we got some green on those buttons. And I went all the way to the edge with the paint pen on those because they're actually going to be lights, I guess, in my head. That's what I'm thinking. Let that dry a little bit, and then I'm going to take just this green marker here. Once I get some ink flowing out the tip. There we go. Come on, Lenore. Like I said, these Poxa markers, they're good. I like them, but they're starting to, I think, see their end of days. Yeah, that's not even... All that's doing is scratching the paint off of the other Poxa marker that I put on there. Okay. I'm over here hyping up these markers like, yeah, these are a great thing, and then I'm over here talking shit about them. Mainly because it's just user error, guys. Don't worry about me. Stream of consciousness babble. I tend to be quiet, believe it or not, because I often don't shut the fuck up. That's part of me. But when I'm doing something like this, there are times, yeah, where I'm just like completely locked in, quiet, and then there are other times where I'm like working on something and I just fucking babble nonstop. So what I did there was I put the green, the darker green, and then just in the corner I put a little dab of a brighter neon green. And to eye, from eye visual, and I'm sure when I take pictures, it looks like a little glowing light. So that's what I wanted. And then for so those two work. And then for the red light on the top, we're gonna do, I think, vampire red, and then I'll do a drop of this red air from Villaggio. This one is on its way out too. There we go. It's way too much paint, but we're gonna make use of it. Yes, Snowflake. Hello. Thank you for tickling my leg before I started painting, or I might have jumped a goddamn mile. And there's just these two round globe, well, hemispheres, half hemispheres. Turned into Porky Pig there. That's all, folks. But yeah, there's these two half hemispheres on the top or bottom. I'm not sure which way this thing was supposed to sit, but I do know that they're going to be the top. But they're going to be the top two things on here, the globes on the top, and those are going to be some type of light signifying that there's electricity or something's not docked or whatever. Like, I don't care. Maybe it's just a landing beacon on top of all the other things that this does. Provides energy and also tells you where to park. That's the great thing about world building, using Greeblies and other random bullshit that you don't know about, or you don't know what it is. And I find that when I build things, they tell me what they do, and that sounds like a psycho thing to say, like, man, I don't know what I'm doing, man. I just do the work and it speaks to me, man. It's like I always thought those people were fucking nuts, and I started making art on my own, and I'm like, no, I totally get it now. This absolutely makes sense that the artwork is telling me what it's going to be. And in this case, I'm thinking that these two red lights on here and the glowing green, the glowing green there are indicators. The green means it's good to go, and the two glowing lights at the top are maybe beacons or whatever. And then I think this little thing down here that looks like a switch is maybe a breaker that you have to pull in order to shut it off or turn it on or juice it up or whatever. I don't know. Okay. That's a couple of passes of that vampire red on there. And then when I'm comfortable that that's dry, like I said, I'm going to do a little glowy effect by adding just a little bit of that other red there, the Vallejo Air Red. Vallejo? Yeah, the reason I locked in with that Obi-Wan is I was struggling, and it was one of those instances where I was like, this should not be this hard. And normally something like that would have flown for me, and I was just struggling with it for whatever reason. And rather than like get super frustrated and cancel the stream or get like pissed off at myself and like get all flustered and embarrass myself, I was just like, okay, focus, take your time, make your mistakes now, get them out of the way, get the thing finished. You're working on this is what you want to do. And so that's what I did, and I was happy with the results. I got it done, and I'm glad that everybody was, chilling out and watching the stream and got to experience firsthand watching Famine work on this goddamn concoction of whatever it was that I was doing. But Obi-Wan, I think, turned out pretty damn cool. And I am building a series of knights, Jedi Knights, for my lore that are there, and I'll give you a sneak peek of Quinlan Voss, Knight of the Path. And then I want to get a few more of these bodies, because these are going to be great for like Jedi or even, what's the word? Like squires for the knights. Like kind of like they're Padawans, but you'll see. We'll get there. All right. Oof. That one is a mess maker. She's a squirter. And we go just a drop on the top. Make a little circle. Do a little bit more. Bloop. Bloop. And I know it's not OSL, which is something I consistently struggle with and will not be taking the time to learn today or apply to this today. But I think that creates a good effect. Object source lighting. So when you see those painters that do like Warhammer 40K and shit, and they have like a flaming sword and they paint it, and then it looks like the area around the hand has got the light from the sword, or lightsaber for the Star Wars ones, and it looks like the lightsaber's glowing on them. My brother in Christ, let me tell you, I just can't figure that sorcery out. It's crazy. It's just, it absolutely blows my mind. Bloop, 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 bloop. And then we go right here. A little crooked. There we go. There we are. That guy's crazy. Which guy? I'll find him. I'll find him and I'll put my thumb in his eye. Miniaturista. Yeah. It's insane. And then I see like the painting competitions and I'm like, oh, okay. Like these guys are fucking 10,000 you know, leagues above what I'm doing, but also I learn so much from them, so I like to watch them. Somebody I really like to watch is Witty Goblin. Witty streams. She's an indie game developer who does tabletop RPGs and also paints miniatures and plays video games. I like watching Trent from Miscast. Miscast is his channel here on YouTube. He is like the king of kit bashing, making custom figures, miniatures, making diorama pieces and stuff that he puts up for free. He creates like skin packs of like different textures and stuff for Photoshop. People can go download for free. So if you want them for your world building and stuff, go check those out. But yeah, Miscast, Trent with Miscast, Witty. I like watching the people at Table Talk Time over on their channel, Table Talk Time. They do a really good job and make some really cool stuff. So those are the people that I watch to learn. But the closest I've come to like making like lighting effects is the trick of using two colors, one darker, one brighter, and putting it in the corner to make it like a light. It looks like a light. But I think that kind of has a light look to it. I'm happy with it. I saw that. It popped up on my screen here. I'm not going to put the wire on because it just occurred to me I should have the landing pad here first before I do that. And like I'm torn between what size landing pad I want to do because I have several round and hexagon shaped different hexagon, septagons, and in different round shapes and like that I could do for landing pads in various sizes. But then I do have this one that we did on a live. It's just that I feel like this one has far too much tech for just a random, like, oh, I'll park my space jet ski up there. Like, that's where, famine. Like, I park my space jet ski up there, and that's it, because I think that that's too much. But if I maybe get another one of these size landing pads, I think that would be appropriate right there, like just that size. Something of that footprint, and then I can run the wire to it. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. And like, wow, this would be neat. Like, oh, there's the landing pad, and then you hop down and go inside. I just think that's too much for this space. That's not what I'm going for here. So for now, I won't put a wire in there. But as you can see, there's the hole ready for the wire to put on the roof. So that'll be good. And then part of the decision making then becomes, am I going to use this space here as a tech cubby? Like that's where all the tech, the generator is for the whole building or something. Or alternatively, I thought about a rooftop garden. Have some, some plants growing up here with like a plastic thing over it to keep the critters from getting to it, but also it helps their air system, so they're growing their own food and whatnot. There's options, and then I have to come up with a grating for here and a railing system for this to be like a little deck. So we've got all sorts of options to do there. But I'm happy with what we got accomplished today because we got the Slurm billboard up. We got the wire. We got the wire run for the AC unit. We got the power pack for charging the speeder bike or whatever up. So I appreciate you guys tuning in for this. I hope you guys have an excellent Monday. I will see you tomorrow for my live, 10 p.m. As always, if you guys need anything in the meantime, in between time, you know where to find me on Instagram. Patreon is down there. If you're new to the channel, go check that out. There is a free tier. If you want to subscribe, it helps the channel out. Ian, have a great night. Like the video, that also helps. And leave a comment down below if you're watching the replay. Let me know you're here from the replay squad. All right, guys, too sweet me.